Here we go. Is the video collection logo, which I think has been done in CGI. I never even realised that. How many times I must have seen this video collection logo and just never made that connection before. I'm assuming that your version won't be starting with these two intros. Video Collection International have recorded this program on high quality videotape, provides you with great sound and vision quality. In the unlikely event of any picture interference, please adjust your video recorder's tracking control. This will in most cases rectify both sound and vision quality. Tracking control, ooh, remember those? I just played a little bit of this tape to try it, and now we're really getting into it. That Canon Group Inc. presents, there's your sync point. Some great little, cause it just starts off with the text coming up. And it's got this, you can hear, telephones ringing and people in the police station and, radio chatter and all that kind of stuff. There's Charles Bronson typing there. It's probably the least manly thing he's going to do in this film. What's really funny, though, because this is almost sacrilegious to say, but this is J. Lee Thompson, who did Force 10 from Navarone, and he also did Death Wish 4, which is probably the best Death Wish film. So obviously Charles Bronson, it's Canon Films, and I don't really know a great deal about this film, so it's interesting going into it a bit cold really, but I'm sure as soon as it sort of kicks in we'll all figure it out together, folks. It's funny because Charles Bronson was just taking a statement off I think he was taking a statement off a guy. I'm sure the guy, he was just testing the video, I'm sure the guy was like, I killed this woman. And now he's just like, Charles Bronson was like, yeah, see you later. I don't know why. For the whole time setting this equipment up, and I know it's a completely different song title, but all I keep thinking of is that Iron Maiden song, 2 minutes to midnight. Title card coming up. It's a bit like the Rageaholic there, it's just Charles Bronson and a cool little electric guitar medley. A J. Lee Thompson film starring what's really funny about stuff like this though, because I hate it when certain people say about 80s stuff. It was Andrew Stevens, I was thinking of Fisher Stevens, but it's the other way. Gene Davis, not Gina Davis. Yeah, but when sort of people look back at 80s stuff, Jeffrey Lewis, that name sounds really familiar, and they're like, oh, there's a certain word that begins with C, ends with E, that I hate saying, so I'm not going to use it. But people look at these kind of films and go, oh, it's this word that, that's a little bit means niche or sort of it's a little bit low budget or whatever, and they laugh at it really ironically and postmodern. But God, I love this stuff. I mean, it's kind of funny in a way that the 80s generations. Do you ever find the 80s generation simultaneously made everything great and kind of ruined everything? But it's kind of amazing to me though that now and I think a lot of people are like me, that for chill out or relax, you'll put a Metallica record on, or do you ever find women being undressed attractive? But he's imagining it. It's kind of, what's funny, there's a guy who's been looking at these sexy ladies, and he's picturing sort of being with them, saxing them up. What's funny though as well, because it kind of reminds me of George Romero's Martin, which I wasn't expecting to say. But the people from my generation, Peter Lee Thompson, editor, Jeff finds man in sexy pants attractive. I feel like my generation. Adam Greenberg. That's funny. What's the guy's name? Adam Green and Adam Goldberg. So two people combined. Music composed by Robert O'Ragland. I feel like the Generation X, I feel like my dad's generation would be. We're watching this film. To be honest, this is my dad's film as well. The last 3 commentaries been taped from my dad's collection, so thanks very much, Ken. What's I'd never call him Ken to his face, but like my generation will say, relax watching like say a Charles Bronson film, or like say listening to like a Slayer album or something. Golden Globus exec producers. It seems kind of funny that like that's even like a thing. Like he just he's got a picture of himself doing karate on the wall there. Oh, I like that shot there of him crossing the road. Real grind, see, especially what's that? Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid on the marquee at the cinema. What's funny though, even though there's only ever one cinema in my local area that had a proper marquee when I was a kid, I get really nostalgic when I see cinemas with marquees. That's one thing, as far as I know, we've never had in this country. It's just a guy getting up to the ticket booth, and the ticket booth is like outside the cinema. You always see that like in American movies. I know in Death Wish 4, when they're in a cinema, it was actually the screening room at Cannon, so I wonder if this is... It doesn't look like the same one. Do you ever find... Directed by J. Lee Thompson. That just reminds... Oh, the curtain coming up. That's so funny as well, because like little things like that, like the marquees going in. I can't remember the last time I went to a cinema and the actual curtains opened. It could have very well been like, the mid-90s or something. It feels like a million years ago now. They're doing the... Oh god, he's sitting... Oh man. He's trying to put his arm around the women. That's assault, brother. It's doing the old cinema movie thing though, where he's eating popcorn in the cinema. I mean, it's obviously my own personal choice, but I literally, the last time I brought popcorn in the cinema must have easily been 5 years ago, minimum. Get the odd cinema hot dog every now and then if I'm feeling a bit flush. I really like that. I always gone into the toilets and that's not what I like, but like it's just giving me a bit of a flashback to the toilets at the Savoy. Used to look a little bit like that, and I think that's kind of funny though. This was probably like 1988, 89, somewhere around that ballpark, and I do kind of like though in such a short space of time, you'd go from these little independent cinemas. And sort of things will be a little bit rough around the edges. I know sometimes when you go in cinemas now, there'll still be popcorn on the floor or whatever, or the poster might be put up a bit wonky or something. But just very slowly but surely, like a lot of these little sort of idiosyncrasies and stuff like that, are sort of, especially from cinemas, are really going. I don't know why he's snuck out the cinema, because I'm sure if he just walked out, nobody would have known. By the way, I'm actually, I didn't actually say what happened. He went, this guy, the assuming he's the killer, went into the toilets and sort of snuck out through the window. But I guess his alibi is that he was going to be in the cinema, of course. But he's gone into the woods now. There's a couple making out. What is funny though, because sometimes I love it when films POV shot there, the killer like walking up to the van with mirrored windows, no less. It's a cool van when that happens. Oh my god, oh shucks. But yeah, sometimes I like it when films are really cliche and like so like a Friday 13 film or something like that. But what's funny, the guy who was making out with the sexy lady looks really like the killer. That was funny. What is funny though, equal opportunities and all. I must have seen this film before. I'm 99% sure that I have. But you don't see a totally naked man and a totally naked woman on screen all at the same time. But yeah, I really like it. It looks like it was like daytime then. Outside those, maybe it was. There's definitely some light coming in there from What is funny though, because like he's like really threatening this woman. What's ever so funny, just like every so often, because like when people say, "Oh, guilty pleasure," I hate that too. But like for the most part, I'll just watch films and just watching a film, no whether it's like a comedy or western, wherever it is. But I'll never forget once, Loose being off license just across the street that rented videos, and I remember a guy in there once saying, "I can you rent horror films? Like, you'll be ashamed of yourself. Oh, well, it's just fake, and it's just not pretend. And like, just I was like, oh god, we would watch something like this. What kind of person? Yeah, well, like it when films really, what's going to happen. I really like when films subvert everything, and I like making a film where, you see like a couple having sex in the woods and they just perfectly fine, nothing happens to them. What's funny next? I just thought, it's pretty convenient. He's just going to sneak back in the toilets, and nobody's seeing him, like kind of thing. Or there's nobody in there. There was just a person in there. What's that really funny there, because it's like proper like Murder She Wrote or Columbo, like where somebody will make a scene somewhere so they'll be remembered, and then it's like, well, I couldn't have killed that person. I was like. That really looks like, I guess a lot of cinemas all look the same, don't they? What's really funny about that though as well, and again, it's a different time, you went to cinema, it was like a one-screen cinema, you just go see what was on. But I do think it's kind of funny is that, to me, the most unrealistic part about this film so far is two women going to watch a western. That's actually pretty good acting there, like, in the sense that, like, he said, come between you and your girlfriend. But, like, even then, well, even now, because I've got such a stupid sense of humour that, like, it's like to me, girls that do with other girls, it's like, but like there, I should imagine, especially a lot of the, I don't mean it's nasty, but a lot of the audience that this film was aimed at, it's like, lesbians. Oh my god, is that, oh wow, is that bloke out the thing? Is it Wilford Brimley? With a hat on? I like how the coroners, it says coroner and bigly just pulling the dead body out of the woods. Suddenly, Charles Bronson. But again, what's really funny about Charles Bronson, but to me, and again I think a lot of people from my generation that like exploitation films and or just films with amazing, awesome actors in. My cat's abandoning me. I think I'll just have to go. Oh my god, there's Simon Cocktail. It's not. 2 seconds, folks. It's the cat break. Yeah, but films where people like just films with good actors in and things like that. But because I've seen so many Charles Bronson films, and because I've seen Death Wish 3 like a billion times, like to me, and I remember, it's funny enough to about Adam Green, the guy that directed like Hatchet and Frozen, the other Frozen, not the Disney Frozen. Would be great. I still think it would be funny if Adam Green directed Frozen. But to me, like now, Charles Bronson is almost. It's like, I remember Adam Green saying it about Kane Hodder, he feels like he's almost like a superhero. And to me, Charles Bronson, I know like in real life he was like a real family, luckily there's a family, he was like a real family guy, and didn't talk very much, like quite introverted, and he wasn't really this big macho guy and stuff like that. But in films, his screen presence is insane. Like there, he's just like standing in like a morgue, which I feel like is 99% of I've ever seen Charles Bronson. But it's just one of those things though where, he's not like a huge muscle guy like Stallone or Arnie or something. But at the same time, to me, he may as well be 8 foot tall, And again, I've never really understood that when people are like, sort of, Tom Cruise is small or Stallone's small, and I think so much of it is just, you project yourself on screen. Like, say Charles Bronson was just standing there then, like, oh my god, the killer's there in an office full of women, say, watch out. One thing, that, again, where I think Cannon didn't get nowhere near enough credit for, like there, if you just turned on now, or you just saw this clip out of context, I mean, I don't know what he's going to do in a minute. If he like rubs himself up against, if he rubs himself up against this woman, he'll probably be Clark Kent just to be in the background. It'll probably be like, oh yeah. but he just doesn't really look like the killer. Like normally the killers are like, got like a huge chin or something, or like a, like big, big forehead or something. He's just like a handsome, crazy looking guy. Oh no, they've got a phone call. Oh, even that's quite, cool. That it seems like the killer works with the person that he killed, because the officers just received a call that the woman from the van has been. Oh. But that's another thing though as well, and I hate saying this because I feel like I say it on every commentary, and I feel like I'm turning into like, oh, in my day, low budget films were good, but like there was just this little camera zoom into people going, no, I can't believe it, Agnes, and Peter Cullen joke, but it's just kind of like, I feel like that even though this was what it was, like a cop movie, chasing like a killer and stuff. It just feels like there was just, it might just be a little sprinkling of like, you've got a cool star or an half decent director, or they shot on location, smoking. Where's my little checklist? I should get that checklist for everything. Well, every film. Payphone, smoking, J&B. I thought what was on the list. Charles Bronson. No, he won't be. Probably should be. I think it's the 6th commentary now I've done on a Charles Bronson film. Let's just do commentaries now for Charles Bronson films till the end of time. Like that, they've just gone under a bridge, and again, it could just be purely like Charles Bronson and Simon McCorkindale Mark II of just driving around in a car. But again, I feel like the probably just purely because it was canon, it was like, go outside and film, like that they probably just did it like there and then on the day, but that just looks really legit, like they're just driving around. Like how many times you see a film where it's driving around, looks dead fake, don't look like them in the car, and then it's like yeah, there's Charles Bronson just driving around with another guy. And as well, this is probably one of the few films as well, again, these little touches that elevated. Charles Bronson's not driving the car. I can't think of many films off the top of my head, especially if it's like a buddy cop movie. Occasionally, like say, Danny Glover might drive the car instead of like Mel Gibson, or things like that, or like James Belushi might drive the car instead of like the dog from Canine. No, the Arnold Schwarzenegger, like Red Heat or something. But I can't think of another film off the top of my head where you've got a male action star who is basically the male lead for the movie, and he's not driving the car. That's kind of cool, actually. My cat has returned, and so now it's just a short mini cat break just while I close the door again. We're back, folks. Yeah, Charles Bronson's just knocked on somebody's door. I don't know if they're the victim's family, and they said family's victim. It's a cool shot there. It's almost like the street from Halloween. What's funny, because I've seen so many American films though now, I almost feel like that every street in America looks like that, although I know it isn't. What is really funny though as well, watching people like Adam DeWoo on the internet, and I watched TNT Amusements as well, and TNT Amusements were just talking to somebody from England, and he was saying about how he went to England and stuff, and that's so cool, like, since like the internet, and I've always been a big fan of other cultures, quote unquote, so I'll stop doing that because I'm potentially together, but that like how similar and not similar they are. And I love in America like how there's all these big sprawling areas and massive vistas and things, and then I was watching Metal Jesus, this computer guy on I said let's just move the video control there because I accidentally pressed stop or something, but yeah, he was saying he lived in Seattle, and where he lives there was no sidewalks. It's like it's just like, oh wow. Charles Bronson's gone to see, I think it was the woman from the cinema who the guy made a scene to. She's wearing a Puma top, but that's one thing though as well. I think Puma still make things. like athletic equipment. But I still, to this day, if I see something Puma now, just it screams 1980s to me, because it's like I just can't imagine it. If somebody said to me now, "Here's 500 quid spent on clothes," I probably would. Well, I probably wouldn't buy that sports stuff, full stop. But I don't probably wouldn't buy anything Puma. You know, I did have a pair of Puma trainers once though. They were like black with this like green, like bright green, cyany sort of fluorescent colour to them. And it was like really awesome as a vicar. Do you ever find women at funerals attractive? Camera is just panning down there. This was a cover image. Say a cover image. It's an image on the cover, not the cover. The box says Bronson is back 10 to midnight. And what's really funny about this, I don't know if the time it hasn't got anything to do with this, but I love how Charles Bronson films, especially in the 80s, could be called almost anything. Yeah, but this shot of Charles Bronson standing at funerals on the back of the box. But even that must have happened before again. But the killer and the cop at the same funeral. Charles Bronson just kissed that woman. And that's the thing as well. I think they just said his name. I think his name Kessler. But even that, it's like, what's his name in Death Wish? Kersey. We can call him this Kessler. Like again, I know a lot of people would be like, "Oh, that's dead stupid," and it kind of is. But at the same time, it just makes me like Cannon even more. But then again, I'm so obsessed with Cannon that like. Somebody actually put a comment on me Cannon video I did where they said Cannon were the greatest company in the greatest decade in human history, and it just made me sort of think like what a cool abstract concept that is, that like you think of all the stuff that's happened in the human race and dinosaurs and millions of years of all these different things, and then like from 1980 to 1989 that was the best 10 years. To be fair, I wouldn't disagree. She actually looks really familiar, that woman. She's really familiar. The killer looks like Jan Michael Vincent. Who is? I'll try to see if I can guess without. I probably saw her name. Is she? I feel like it's maybe the woman from Beverly Hills Cop, Jenny Summers. She's super familiar. But one thing, and I probably say it on like say every third commentary or every commentary, but 80s bad guys must literally be some of the best bad guys that have ever been in motion pictures. Because there's just something about it just so sleazy and like douchebaggery, especially as well. I think I used to watch a lot of Australian soaps, as you do when you're growing up, and we watched like Prisoner Cell Block 8 and stuff like that. But I think Australian bad guys sometimes they've got this real weirdness to them. But I do really think that, and again, running parallel, there was things just broke in. The killers broke into this room. What's funny though, because he's still got his suit on from the funeral, it seems kind of funny. Is that, are you mad? Or was in that person? I think it's probably B-Day. I watched this now. Because he's got his suit on, he's like the robot killers from Halloween 3. A writing desk. There's a big huge poster on the wall there. It's like that was cool because it looks like a POV shot. Then if somebody watching the killer, steam going past the window. What's always funny when somebody's like using their hot water, you see the smoke. It's like living in like a cartoon land. Yeah, it's a cameo, Mindy cameo. Kitchen was again because I've probably seen way too many films, but if I ever go into my house and got like a load of kitchen knives, I just think, I always think it's quite funny how, like, say, like, you know, I'm quite glad in a lot of ways, but like how handguns are quite restricted, and then you come to somebody's house and they've got, like, you know, the most terrifying kitchen knives you've ever seen. Oh God, watch out, missus. Kind of almost reminds me of Sarah Connor and Ginger's apartment from Terminator. Which I find women get undressed. But that's one thing as well, especially since starting doing these commentaries. But like, how sleazy a lot of Canon films are. Like, I'm so used to just watching, it's Canon, yeah, whatever, you know. And it's like, oh my God, it's like deadly eerie. Oh. But you know, I guess it's a bit like we said on Halloween 2 commentary I did with DVD commentaries, that like, you know, like, well, I think it was like how the Tom O'Keefe said that, like, you know, it kind of makes you complicit watching it. So it's kind of you know, interesting. You know, it's kind of a, you know, a movie theory thing, to a way of looking at film, but it's kind of like you know, it kind of does make you, you know, and then you're watching this film and it's like, ooh, you know, it's like. I always think though as well, like, I can't remember what film it is now, where somebody's like explaining like the scene of like some women talking, and they're all like topless and stuff like that, and then somebody's like, that's what happened. It's like, well, it's my story, that's what happened. And then sometimes like, well, it's like, you can always tell it's like written by a bloke. It's like, what would a woman do if she comes in, puts like a blouse on, leaves it open, and just walks around? It's like, is that what happened? Just put the radio on. That's a really similar shot to Terminator, where Ginger gets some stuff out of the fridge. That's almost exactly the same. Actually, this is I assume she's going to get murdered in a second, and that's exactly what happens to Ginger in Terminator. So Toys R Us was eggs with the white shells. I have seen that more recently in the UK. That's always a totally American thing to me. Blood splatter. She's just been stabbed, but it's kind of. What's really funny though, because the toast popped out the toaster. But what's funny, the little keyboard turned down. I thought my phone was ringing. But that's a really what's funny though, because I think it's seeing this naked man. It's coming back to me now, but in performing the murders naked, that's such a great nutcase movie touch that, like, I was saying, I quite like the fact that he's like, you know, he's not like one eye or like a tattoo on his forehead or big stitches or a scar or something. Oh, diary, the diary, because we all know the women keep diaries. But yeah, the fact that he kills people naked, that's such like just a great bit of like, whoever put that, it's like, yeah, let's make him kill people in the news. Like, say what? The diary's not there. But that's one thing again when I put this on like every other commentary. It was just the shot of a Volkswagen Beetle driving down the street, and it looked like a dead ordinary street, and they he was when they waited outside his house, the police. Charles Bronson and that other bloke. I love how he's got a picture of himself doing karate. Do you know what's really funny though? It's not very often you can say, I want to do what this serial killer does, but I want a picture of myself, a black and white picture of myself doing karate on my wall. 7-4. Radios. I mean, to me though, that is like, but again, to me though, like, say, when certain things happen in movies, you think, oh yeah, or, you know, certain things that scream, I'm the bad guy. But to me, if you went into his house and they got like a 4-foot, 5-foot picture of the self on the wall, I mean, that's just so genius. But yeah, it's like little things though, like, where to me, like, and even though I'm like, sometimes like I'm literally doing this commentary off of VHS, so it's like, duh. But like, there was them two women who went to see a western. then one of them women was just doing himself 2 eggs, frying 2 eggs. That guy's reading a newspaper. To me, those like little things like that make this film seem really old-fashioned now. I was just gonna say that, like, say, it's kind of a weird mismatch to me because now just this one particular scene, just how Charles Bronson's dressed and that guy's dressed, I feel like they're suits you could wear today and you don't look no particularly crazy or anything. You know, men talk about men's fashions all day, to quote Die. But yeah, something as simple as somewhere having a newspaper in the living room. I know still people buy newspapers and people the newspaper review on TV on the news and things like that. I mean, I can literally walk across the paper, walk a minute away from where I'm doing this commentary and buy a newspaper. In fact, there's 2 shops where I could buy newspapers from, but it's just like a newspaper just being there. And that scene just seems really. Anything you say? He's just read a quote from. And it's one of them women's in the cinema. Oh no, maybe it's the woman from the office he worked at. At the Arrow Theatre. I wonder if that's where Arrow Films, who released the DVDs, got the name from. Probably not. He just said that's where he was on the night of the murder. But even that's pretty cool. And again, like where everything's meta in. Oh, this person did this person did that. But I do kind of like that. This guy just made a mistake by saying that he was Steve McQueen was in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and you'd think like Charles Bronson made a film with Steve McQueen. That's pretty cool. I did read a cool fact the other day though that like the one of the new X-Men films, I think it was X-Men Apocalypse or something, was produced by somebody who produced this 80s film called Up the Academy. It was meant to be a Mad Magazine type film, but this Up the Academy was on in X-Men Apocalypse. It's like, wow, like Charles Bronson just must be really weird at like guys coming in and get so good look at him, he's looking directly into the mic for some reason. What's really funny, that guy's got a massive walkie-talkie on him, but he didn't really make his suit bulge or anything. It's like he's like a freaking magician or something. Oh god, it's a picture of a naked man in the magazine in that guy's toilet. Police chief Wilford Brimley's just phoned him. That's always a great movie touch. Like to me, like I can watch science fiction films or like horror films, and if they resurrect somebody from the dead with like voodoo or something, and then I kind of love stuff like that. Though to me, that's so unrealistic that like, oh, the police chief knew that guy's number. They were just there just before they left and received that call. The guy's rubbing the chair. Sort of guy with what's really funny though, because in this Up the Academy, I was watching Ski Patrol for some reason. I've been watching Police Academy like movies, and Ski Patrol, which features Paul Feig, by the way, who the director of Ghostbusters 3, no less. But there's 3 80s douchebags in it, slash early 90s douchebags, and the girl's boyfriend, who was just being questioned by the police, it looked dead like him. I love how there's like a tape deck though there on the desk, and it looks like the size of a VHS video. But that's again what I love about the 80s. Like they just questioning this guy now just to set up the scene. He's got a tracksuit on, a red tracksuit with white stripes. Doesn't get much more 80s than that. But that's one thing I love about the 80s, and when that presents the greatest decade in human history. I do kind of love this thing about the 80s is like, there was still like tons of like coal mines and people like coal fires, and there was loads of people who would say born in the 18 or there's people born in the 1800s that were still alive, and that people can remember like before film and things, this kind of thing. And then you've also got like it was like the introduction to like mobile phones and modems and computers. This is this real huge great mishmash there of like like probably around this time period you get like a TV watch that you could watch TV on, and you could get like a mobile phone, and then there's a tape deck there that's like say it's like the size of like a freaking Xbox. He just stood up. He's going, but that's such a great like there. Like Charles Bronson, he almost disappears in that scene there, which is when I'm saying ridiculous to say topic like screen presence. He's like just dressed in black and anything, and then the guy threatening him in like a red tracksuit. It's like the two women from the cinema are behind some mirrored glass there. That's such a great touch there, because like these two women are saying we saw him before, during, and after the movie, and I guess that would be an amazing alibi if somebody said that to police. I guess well, they got like two witnesses that got nothing to do with this guy and stuff, and I guess that kind of technically would work, but it's one of those things though where like I know like there it was like maybe like a little independent cinema, and again it was like the rise of the multiplex was just sort of happening, that the mid to late 80s kind of thing. But if I go in a cinema, well, a lot of these cinemas now, actually my niece, two kids and her husband went to see the Lego movie. He was saying they could have just walked in because there was nobody there taking the ticket. Uh, he's got some kind of jacking off machine. But yeah, just in general terms, as we said to me now, go in a cinema and somehow sneak out through the toilets. I think the main three cinemas locally to me, I think we almost not you like kicked open a fire door, and even then, I'm not 100% sure where the fire exit doors are in the cinema. What's really funny, cause I'm surprised, but it's so immature. Like Charles Bronson's just pulled this male vibrator thing out, whatever that means, like a fake vagina. Oh, that makes it horrible. I'm sure I've seen Charles. I remember Charles Bronson holding that. Maybe I've just erased it from my memory. Card reference. I don't know what that means. Well, he says you're going to hold, I'm going to stay. Oh, who is that? I'm going to absolutely kick myself. I'll have to just check. I think I'll get the old trusty mobile IMDb app. She's really familiar. She's just gone into the police station. Oh, who is that? Let's face it, only takes like a few seconds for this IMDb this EMD. Oh, gee, what the hell's wrong with me? It only takes a few seconds for this IMDb app to load up, but it seems like it's taking forever. Actually, it's not even an IMDb app. I'm using the internet app on my phone, and I. "10 Cloverfield Lane, 10 Things I Hate About You, 3:10 to You." 310 to Yumi. All I've typed in is 10-2, like 10 and then TO. The first things that have come up here: 310 to Yumi 2007, 310 to Yumi 1957, 10 to Midnight 1983. Oh, actually, take it all back. This is 1983. No wonder that tape recorder was so big. 1983. Well, who knew? Oh yeah, it was. It was Jenny Summers. Listen to the Eilbacher. Oh, she's a little bit different a few years earlier. I thought. At least I got it right. Anyway, that's something. But even that's kind of but even that, when I say about like things are better, but like in Beverly Hills Cop 2, when he says, where'd you get this shell casing from? So he says to Axel Foley, Chip Douglas, and the guy, no, not Chip Douglas, just him. Chip something. Chip Douglas is the cable guy. But when he says, answer to the 90s quiz there, folks. When Eddie Murphy in Beverly Hills Cop 2 says, Charles Bronson's close friend of the family, giving this as a Christmas gift, which is a great gag. But then his friend in Beverly Hills Cop 1 is Jenny Summers, and there's Jenny Summers working with Charles Bronson. A nice compact bit of trivia there. Shoehorn it in there, but why change the habit of a lifetime? She's just talking there to Simon Corkindale Mark II. Shows though, because I don't know why. I'm normally sort of okay with dates, like, say a lot of the big films like, Star Wars 1977 and all that kind of stuff, and I'm normally somewhere in the right ballpark, but I didn't think this was 1983, so it shows how, canon again. This was 1983, which probably means it was filmed in 1982. Payphone, there's a payphone on the wall then, it wasn't being used, but a payphone nonetheless. Well, this music. Some nurses. Which is a bad sentence to say first thing in the morning. Well, 10:37 a.m. It's 62.8 degrees Fahrenheit. If trivia fans out there, which if you've listened to 42 minutes of this commentary, you very well could be. So you said 4 nurses now. What's funny when I said IMDb app and it wasn't an app, and I actually kind of ate apps, so I'm actually amazed to say that I said I actually used an IMDb app. It's like somebody finding your porn collection. But when I was saying app, I was looking at my laptop, so it was like app laptop, and that's why I made a terrible mistake. All like the lighting coming in from that building there, just like made the triangle outside of light distributing in the night. That reminds me of Rush Week for some reason. And that was set around like a big campus and things like that. But this is like where this kind of stuff now, like to me, this kind of like the killer driving around at night and kind of like the maniac remake and things like that. But I think this is where things like these quote unquote cliches or tropes and different things have evolved, where in the sense that like there that felt so 80s to me. Oh, a load of nurses undressing. Oh, that's mental. Like I said before, that's the guy used a payphone. Here we go, another one chalked off the list. And even does that happens in Terminator, funny enough, when somebody gets a phone call and it's like, who is this? As if it's like a dirty phone call, but in this case it actually is payphone, a rotary dial payphone. Still knocking around till the tail end of the 80s though. But that's one thing though as well, and I know there's some pockets of humanity out there, but like when that did seem like that was quite a big thing in the 80s, like dirty phone calls and stuff, or heavy breathing phone calls, and I never received one myself, but didn't get a payphone. It didn't get a payphone. Never did get a payphone at home, but never got a phone at home till like 1994 or something. I don't know when it was. It felt like forever. But yeah, I mean, it's like they're just getting in a cafe at the moment. Jenny Summers, Charles Bronson, and Sam McCulkin Mark II. They're in the canteen from 1984's Karate Kid. Actually, it does look very similar. Oh, I think that's Charles Bronson's daughter. I think she gets kidnapped or murdered, and Charles Bronson has to go full Charles Bronson mode. Oh. Oh, what's really funny about that though, because that's he's just said he's paying for quiche. He says, I ate quiche, and the one behind still said, why did you pay for it? And I thought it was pie. And I remember I saw that as a tweet. It's my favourite line from a Charles Bronson film, and I forgot it was this film. It's a great line though, right? I thought it was pie. Just thought Murphy's Law. That's a great Charles Bronson film. I actually thought that's where that quote was from. Maybe it is from there. Oh, he stood up for politeness. I may as well, why I've got the old IMDb app up, I may as well, I did say that ironically, I may as well check who that is. Shouldn't really keep calling Sam McCulkindale too. Well, it's anyway. Which one is that? Is he Gene Davis? I think he is. He's like a Mike Brewer. He's known for, if it is him, he says it's known for Universal Soldier. Was that the killer guy? I think that might be the killer. That actually makes more sense. If it's Jeffrey Lewis, he's a bald gentleman now. Oh no, he's died. Oh god. See, Charles. Normally a good sign of eye definition is if you see a little square in the eyes, like the pupil like reflecting. That's normally a good sign of eye definition. I'm watching this on Cinema Club, which don't normally pretty cool, but just to saying its age, I'm watching this on Sal through VHS. It's not exactly brand new. I say it seems so funny though seeing I say Jenny Summers as in this. Like I say, I like that they carried on eating the meal. I honestly thought that when they brought this like canteen food that they'd just leave and go, and it's like no, yeah, they stayed there. Do you know what's funny? Because like listening to these commentaries, doing these commentaries on quite low volume, because I don't think the sound coming over would necessarily flag it or anything like that. But I do think it's kind of funny though. I did not think the killer had a Spanish accent. It was very funny. They used to got one of them rectangle block tape decks what you normally use to load off a spectrum or something like that. But it's funny, it kind of seems kind of funny like he just said then, obviously it's like a bit of exposition and things like that, but saying he's just in the room full of all the nurses and he said to record the phone call, just put the receiver in this, then hit play and record. But to me then, having been told to press play and record, it's like, who does not know that? I know loads of people wouldn't. A little dance here, and again when I was saying about like how canon and when sometimes like a low budget can sort of elevate something, but I normally feel like sometimes when you see a party in a film, I feel like that you can tell that they aren't really, they're just actors and they aren't really dancing or anything, because they usually have to dance to nothing because so they've got more control over the sound and that and the editing things. but that really feels like that's like the rap party, but just in somebody's house, and oh, the guy just said, I used to love these kind of parties and college must be getting older. She said, maybe, oh. He's just that unbuttoned top. Was different because the guy, he almost could be for any time period from about 1978 to about like 1996 or now, because she's got Jenny Summers has got this crazy headband on in like 80s hair, which I love. Don't get me wrong. It's like she's like screams 1980s, and then he's just like this. This guy could be from any time period. That's the one great thing about it. Again, oh my god, there's been a guy. There's two people having sex, and the cop, the Sam Crocodile, just burst in on him. Ah, he pushed him back down again. Oh god. But that's one thing. What's one amazing thing about 80s films out there? Like, it was just this like relatively simple scene, and all of a sudden a pair of boobs, and it's just like though, like that's. And I was listening to him a Zarman commentary for Die Hard, and he was saying like a lot of 80s films are like have a load of swearing in, and it's so funny about like 80s films because like for the most part, I always feel like this is like sort of like a better film version of say a better film version of something like say The Professionals or something like that. But then because the level of violence and stuff, it couldn't be on TV first thing in the morning. But like there, I feel like this could be on TV first thing in the morning. Then all of a sudden, some extreme violence or swearing or boobs or something. Oh my god, he's kissing a woman. Sam Crocodile kissing Jenny Summers. Are people not viewing at home? Phone ringing. Coming into the apartment with the light left on, conveniently enough. Well, I guess you could leave a light on. What's funny, that guy really does look like the mad psycho pervert phone caller. It does look like Jan Michael Vincent in that hat, a bit like from The Mechanic. That's for the pivot guy just goes, I've got the biggest one out there, and she goes, it's nice to know. Obviously she's just striking people on the phone for tracing him. What's really funny though, because that's like kind of like there, she just said to him like something like, where do you want meat and all this kind of stuff. He's like, what? Like, and I can imagine, obviously, this film is what it is, but I imagine a lot of people that would be like that. These people that do those dirty phone calls, I should imagine they would be like, if you said, oh yeah, what do you mean? Like, what? Must have run away. She just said, why tell her? Yeah, you didn't tell her that this is the guy we're after, and Sam McCorkle said, why tell her that 24 hours a day she'd be in mortal danger. But that's one thing in the, I said this on loads of commentaries, because we're doing a lot of Charles Bronson commentary recently, but when the Right Here, Right Now music video by Van Halen, there's one part where it says, right now there's a madman walking the streets where you live, and it is kind of the most terrifying thing ever to think that like, there's all these crazy people just like walking around. I say this on loads of commentaries as well, but they're like Charles Bronson just looked at a picture of his family, and I know I say this about everything, but I honestly feel like 50-60% of my childhood is Charles Bronson looking at pictures of his loved ones. photographs of Dan Whippet now, which is again is not a sentence you expect say first thing on a Wednesday morning. Taking the tape at the tape there. Listening to a Walkman there. Well, it's funny because I was watching Knight Riders, talking about Romero film the other day, and Patricia Tallman, and that was listening to like a tape deck. Actually, I haven't seen the actual guy's tape deck unless I assume it's a Walkman. But it's funny to think that like that they were going like that. But that's the thing that is kind of funny though, because they say this is like 1983, probably filmed 1982, and that guy there listening to like, to all intents and purposes, like an MP3 player, in the sense he's listening to music through headphones to a portable device, sitting in front of a computer. You fast forward like 20, 30, touching 40 years later, and not that much has changed. Because when I think of Charles Bronson, what's really funny, even though I've seen the vast majority of these films before, I never think of Charles Bronson, even though I'm always the first person to say like we had all these things that people have nowadays, like mobile phones and stuff like that in the 80s and stuff. But just as a knee-jerk reaction, I never think of Charles Bronson existing in the same time as computers. Like if Charles Bronson there just sitting right next to a computer, it's like when worlds collide. Charles Bronson just don't look in the fridge. They got out a pentel marker. It was, what have you got it there? He's just asked this doctor to go look for something. Charles Bronson just took something out of this fridge if he's making his own super weapon or something, or just going to test some blood or something. Up again as well, like there, Charles Bronson unscrewing something, putting something together, like how he does that to the phone, like message with on the phone, something like Death Wish 4. Again, I feel like little things like that, like seeing Charles Bronson make bullets, or seeing Charles Bronson make something, or see, it's like again, I feel like that really is like about 80% of my childhood. Oh, nothing washes hands. Big everywhere. Like the footage is just really cool and grainy there. Proper exploitation in there. But it's funny because most of the footage doesn't look like that. It's kind of fun. Must have been a bit. Charles Bronson's getting letting go that he was smoking marijuana. Put him shooting later on. The music there is very Friday 13th there. Charles Bronson's just waiting for that guy to leave his house. He's sneaking. No, and he's just right under the mic, if you can hear him. He's having a stroke. And the dog's barking. All is right in commentary land. I'm listening to a tape now of the killer. And they're playing the recording of when he spoke to Jenny Summers. Just take all the arresting Jean-Marc Vincent and Simon Crocodile was going to take the guy's clothes away, all like literally all of them. He said, no, just the ones he was wearing on the. But you know, it's really funny though. Yeah, I feel like it's really amplified in the last, like, say, year or couple of years or so. But with watching loads of people talk about how to make, like, sort of film, and I did film at college, and I've really been watching making ofs and things like that. I really feel like, really recently, like, say, in the last 2 or 3 years, I'll say the last year pretty much, that I'm really starting to notice how many little filmmaking techniques get used, like these little push-ins on the camera or little things with sound. Like, it's so loaded into everything. Like, even just, like, say, a dialogue scene, or out there the camera's just pushing in there to the Sam Corkindale character, and then it just cut to the next scene and the camera's just pulled away. It's really fascinating. I think, like, say, we say saying things like this because people have got better things to do with the time. But like, say, so I could watch the film with my dad, and he would almost never pick up on something like that. But I think once you do start noticing it becomes this, like, oh, the guy's lawyer's really familiar. The lawyer guy just winked. It's like, oh shit, Charles Bronson's here. Yeah, Michael Vincent's just throwing a chair at somebody. It's somebody. Please, God forgive me, Charles Bronson. But funny, I'm really assuming here that he must get off with it or something. Obviously, just probably find out he's been framed or something. But it's really funny that, like, normally I'm so used to, like, Charles Bronson just blowing somebody away. And what's really funny though, I'm surprised I don't actually, probably will do. What's funny, the guy's lawyer looked like this guy now just coming out of the court. Don't forget, I just accidentally scratched the cushion with my nail there, but picked up on camera. I'm actually surprised this isn't one of my favourite sort of Charles Bronson films, because with my dad having in the collection for years, and sort of he's got Jenny Summers in from Beverly Hills Cop 2, and the guy looks like Sam McCorkindale, and the guy looks like Michael Vincent, the payphone, the smoking. It was a game there. What do you mean by fabricated? You got a dictionary, look it up. But again, that's one thing I do since kind of freaks. I never would have thought, even though I say I must have seen this film, I never kind of pictured Charles Bronson doing something like that, even just as a general character trait. So, but like how Tom Hanks is playing, I think, spoiler alert, because I don't know for definite, but Tom Hanks in his new film The Circle, I think, is playing a bad guy. But it seems funny, Charles Bronson, like, faking evidence, he put his blow him away first or something. No smoking, so no smoking in that elevator in 1983. Who knew? To the left, like there, that footage there of that court, just outside the court, just feels 80s. There was nothing really in that scene that sort of, there's nobody walking in there, with a ghetto blaster on the shoulder or something. And even just this footage here of two people, Sam McCorkindale's one, and the killer's lawyer is the other guy, which really feels 1980s, and there's nothing really in that scene that says that. And I feel like I've said this on loads of commentaries, but just every so often I get like a real pang of nostalgia for like just the scene is like not particularly amazing scene, it's like a montage or anything like that, or I say it's just two guys walking down the road and a couple of cars, and not really particularly 80s cars, but 70s cars if anything. But I just feel like that real 80s, it's got like a real 80s-ness to it. But do you ever find rooms with 4 nurses unattractive? West thing as well, I probably said this on loads of commentaries, but Sam McCorkindale there is just phone Jenny Summers with his remote control TV. But I don't know where it is, like, I don't know if it's like literally because I'm sitting here like say watching this with literally I can touch a laptop with this, and I can touch my mobile phone with this, and I've got this microphone here in front of me, which is a big TV and stuff. But I really do feel like that sort of like when I see somebody just talking with a phone, it's kind of like say when I'm saying that I didn't have a phone growing up like until maybe the 90s or something like that. It must have been 90s, it wasn't 80s. But like when you just think of like that, all you've got is that phone. You probably couldn't even do call or redial or anything like that. And if you're particularly flashy, you may have had like an answer phone, or I think they've got two or three lines on their phones, which were Bruce Wayne technology. But it just seems so antiquated and so amazing all at the same time. The lawyers see in court on there. I got no top on there. The police chief smoking. He's asking the iPod guy if Charles Bronson did anything. He's like, he was sitting there where keep the blood. Like that guy was high, like he'd remember that. What's funny, like, because that just looks like a normal fridge freezer, and I don't know exactly where you would keep blood. Is that but it just seems like, is that right? Maybe who knows? That guy's that lawyer guy. He's super familiar, but then again, he's probably watching this film. He's really familiar. I think he might have been Blue Thunder or something like that. Chamber did the karaoke of it, basically giving him like a playboy, I think, but said you've been in a gas chamber. Did they gas people in the 80s? Well, that's Betty White. A sexy Betty White, which is like any time between like 1920 and now. Touch wood. Charles Bronson directed Jenny Summers Somewhere Else. I like how there's no smoking down left, but you can smoke in the courts. What's really funny there, he's just saying about if the lawyer got the killer off, he's like won the Super Bowl. I absolutely almost Karagotically, what's the word? Karagotically. Is that the word? Karagotica? I can say for certain that I did not know what the Super Bowl was the first time I watched this. What kind of little question is that? I mean, he's circling. You trying to get comfy, man? Well, that's the thing about like Charles Bronson though, like there, he got like angry, but he didn't really like raise his voice, and it's so fascinating to me, just acting generally, because anybody who's seen me ever act on any of these videos or anything like that, they'll be like, yeah, I know you can't act, but I love how acting is just this subtle change in somebody's like appearance or voice or mannerisms, and it just becomes this like something you can't quite tangibly hold, but you can see and hear. and it's just like there, just how Charles Bronson was just like tapping his finger on this like door, and it's just like, I'll say door. Those were little doors in court, those little half doors. Why do they have them? That's weird. I'm sure there's a reason. Judge Mallon. Oh. Storm King Paul Fegan. Somebody just liked a photo. Charles Bronson's approaching the bench. It's a picture of Hillary Clinton. It's pretty ignorant of me, checking my phone during the commentary. What's going on here? Charles Bronson said he's planting the evidence. And the reporters are just hassling Sam Corkindale. For some reason Charles Bronson's at home. They let him go. If that's what would happen, maybe it would. Oh my god, that's actually hilarious. So we just said to Charles Bronson, which should be saying, you should be in jail. Charles Bronson on the TV screen watching himself just said, why don't you go fuck yourself? She never got drunk with her dad before, she just said, Jenny Summers. Oh, Mindy's Mindy's just got off again. Can't break, folks. It's so funny though, just like watching this film, that like I feel like it's sort of familiar, but like I always feel like, yeah, of course I've seen it, and you know, like say, just the certain little bits of it coming back, like, but at the same time, I almost, not unless I like the cover images, like the main bit where he's shooting or something, which I don't know why I'm getting a little bit of a vague memory of that. Jenny Summers just kissed her dad, which is like a great euphemism. I did think about this earlier on, and I'm not quite sure why, but like they see Jenny Summers linking her dad carrying a handbag, but in England they call handbags and the purse with the money inside a purse, but in America it seems like they call handbags purses. So what do they call purses? We'll never know. Oh my gosh, I just kissed him again. Did you have a fine? Charles Bronson attractive. What's really funny as well, because I'm watching this off VHS, and I love doing these commentaries off VHS, but typical DVD commentaries, Video Warriors or Lock style. Charles Bronson's got some of his drink left, which is pretty awesome. Doing this completely sober, which is weird. But yeah, I do these off VHS. But I'm doing these off VHS in the UK, which almost certainly means they cut, which almost certainly means they won't sync up with any other version of this film. Hijacking my own commentaries. Charles Bronson, oh my god, Charles Bronson's gonna get a dirty film call now. I'm gonna get you. What's great again though, because like I hate myself for saying this, But if he's literally phoning in from his house, I guess he could just phone in for anything. But is that a good idea to be like, yeah, I'm phoning the cop from my own house, and how did you get his phone number? That's pretty cool. He said, I'll see you later, Mr. Kessler. He said, yeah, same to you, I'll see you later, Mr. Casey. Like I said, yeah. Charles Bronson's texting, driving round in a car. Oh my god, that's amazing. That almost looked like CGI then, like I was saying about earlier on, the shot of Charles Bronson driving around in that car looked dead realistic. It looks dead fake. Well, not dead fake, there's a certain weirdness to it. Like, that is really awesome. I hope just Charles Bronson just follows him around for the next 20 minutes. What's really funny though, because even I used to use electric typewriters at school and even manual typewriters. Just seeing then people in these offices using electric typewriters, that seems way old-fashioned now. Like again, it's just like I feel like this film was aged relatively well. It's like being like now, because sometimes you want to watch a cool older movie, but the Jan Michael Vincent has just gone into the office where he works. Or he's looking at him weird. Charles Bronson's just pinned a load of pictures up on his office wall. Charles Bronson's playing prison rules now. To be fair, I mean, this guy's obviously a nutcase, but it's a little bit harsh to like he's like a load of pictures of dead women on the walls. It's like, yes, we'll blame him. He's fired. That kind of Charles Bronson stared in front of that being Guardians of the Galaxy where the Stan Lee cameo was. That's when that's like we seen from the latest rip those photographs up. I don't know why, I think I'd really struggle to do that, like rip out 3 or 4 photographs up at the same time. It's like, like a phone book or something. No way of being in the phone book, is there? That's a cool shot of Charles Bronson in the car there, stakeout, payphone. Sam Corkindale just surprised Charles Bronson. Charles Bronson just pulled a gun out. The cat's back, so I'll just close the door. Mindy's back. Hey, did you have a munching? Oh, you can't go outside, man. There's a laptop. That was Mindy scratching, by the way, not me. That's me scratching. That's also me, so. Jenny Summers is. Oh no, who's turned up? Charles Bronson's just watched somebody go in that apartment block. It may have been the killer. He's just gone in his house and some cool 80s hair metal stuff's playing. So I don't really wire that up, it's pretty cool. I like a Charles Bronson thing, that's pretty funny. He's just took something out of the fridge, the killer guy. Where it was. That's a cool shot there. If there's some cars going to just see a little bit of reflection. The camera's, the light's bouncing off the camera. Oh, McDonald's. But again, though, even though I just think, did we have McDonald's in town in 1983? I think it was maybe the year 1984, 85 when my local McDonald's opened. But I guess it's all point of like McDonald's. I can't wait for the phone to come out in a couple of days actually. But we're just going to the movie theatre again. What's the films on? Oh, I said ladies. It's a sex cinema. Adult movie theatre. I've never seen one of them. I think it was in Manchester. I didn't go in. I honestly didn't go in. Oh my god, prostitutes. Yeah, but I guess this is the old idea of McDonald's now. It works. But anytime I see a McDonald's, and especially on film, it's like, oh, a McDonald's. Oh no, he's picked up a prostitute. And he's been. I've got a cat and a Charles Bronson VHS on the TV. Your arguments invalid. Oh no, he's been blocked off by a truck. Oh, it's a sex shop next to the adult theatre. Charles Bronson's just trying to stop the killer from murdering a prostitute by asking a prostitute, which makes sense. Like how the lights reflecting the flashing lights were flashing. Oh my god. Oh, who's that guy? He's a guy from the wedding singer, I think. Oh my god. God's that guy. I used to be a lot stronger guy. Do you ever find? That guy must have been about 8,000 years old. If you want to, prostitute say I'm already loose. You're just going to give her too much drink. Bottoms up, she said the story about them. Oh god. She's tipping a little whiskey down the toilet. What a waste. Charles Bronson's just come into the hotel. Okay, I can't remember that guy though. That's really funny though, cause that's really funny. It's that guy. That's really funny because that guy's in Wedding Singer, which is supposed to be set in 1985, which is literally 2 years after this. But it was filmed, 15 years after this, and he looks exactly the same. Wow, that's crazy. I must have drugged that woman or something. Again, that was actually kind of a neat bit of writing there because I was just expecting to get like stabbed or something, and yeah, like it seems like she's probably been drugged or so. Oh, he's gone to. Oh no, he just knocked her out. Oh, that's actually funny for want of a better word. Like that alcove. That can't be the right phrase though. The way the guy's standing inside the flats. I was like hallucinating that she's not talking to him and that. Charles Bronson's senses are tingling. The guy's naked walking up the stairs with a bunch of roses. That's a mad image. But he's obviously going to kidnap Jenny Summers' character, the Charles Bronson's daughter, as she's known in this. It's got a lot of Terminator-isms though, the way like the killer's naked and things, and like the Terminators come through naked at first. It's kind of coincidence man strikes again. Oh my god, telephone switchboard with the little jacks that you plug in. It's like when I met this film out plays with like sort of and women doing their hair up in the bathroom and stuff like a Terminator. It's funny. Laurie. What's really funny as well, because I was saying about like most of my life I feel like it's shut. Don't open the door, no. And there's just a woman having a shower then. That's very Terminator-esque. Oh my god. That's when he's coming. He's like threatening this woman, like she didn't get bigger up though straight away. I like how she just hid there though, not like tried to save her friend or something. Survival instinct, I guess. Charles Bronson's phone for backup. The woman say it, the woman's sticking up for her. He's also being knocked from the top in a second. Okay, you can, like I say, that way you can see your eyes though. That's actually kind of funny because they say that's normally such a trademark. Oh no, they tell. She says. Oh, that's a cool shot of the silhouette of the guy. Again, that's very Terminator-ish. That's really. If somebody said to me that was like a deleted scene for Terminator or something, like I'd be like, oh no, he stabbed the wrong person. And even that's like, sure there's a scene like that in Terminator where Sarah kind of like in the police station where like the killer guy was like, oh, I've killed the wrong person. That was the first time I've seen that film. But yeah, Sarah Connor reacts like that when in the police station when she sees the silhouette of the Terminator. That's really funny. I probably it's pure coincidence, but it's that far apart in terms of time. And I think Sarah Connor used to like wear a uniform similar to that. And there's a huge edit there. She said under the bed. I don't think I've ever really seen a film though where somebody's in a room with the friends and all the friends get murdered and the person doesn't try help. Like that's quite funny because that's one thing I thought when he came in. I thought, oh well, it's quite good. There's about 3 or 4 of them in there. They'll all like gang up on him, or somebody will run out or something like that, or but like they all just like whatever. And she's probably got to be as well one of the few 80s films like with action and Charles Bronson and I was going to say explosions. There hasn't been an explosion here, as far as I know, but one of the few films where the man is more nude than the women, and it's probably why it's a bit of a cult movie and not up there in the same league as because men are like, oh, I can't see a man naked. It's turn me gay. Even the music is just like that little like this like almost like a wet synth note just playing it. Wow, it's got like I said before, I love a good coincidence. I mean, so but again, if like there just that little shot there because you couldn't really see it very well, if literally and you didn't see the guy wasn't really Arnie, but if somebody just said like, oh, he's a weird clip of Terminator I found. Oh no, he's found it. He threw a light at him and he like kind of fell over without the light to do too much. Maybe he was just moving out the way, he didn't want to get hit. Oh no, there's a dead body. Oh no. Why did you kill everyone in the house? I know everything right from Rich Pryor joke, but I always loved the Rich Pryor joke when he said he was talking to like a killer in a jail once. He said, "Why did you kill everyone in the house?" He says, "Because there was home." She's locked herself. It's that's always a movie thing as well, but like she's just locked herself in a room and the killer's trying to get the door down. But I don't think I've ever seen a bedroom with a lock on it. Maybe like one or something. Even the house where I'm living now, the bathroom didn't have a lock on it until I put one on. I think that was just an oversight more than anything. I think we took the other one with him. So it's a little bit of the high class area all over there. You said I'll be back? Oh my god. Oh, that's funny. Oh wow, that's funny. That's a really funny coincidence. Oh wow. The killer just said, "I'll be back." Don't forget to close the door, lady. Just looked at him, dead friend. Oh, it was just a cool bit of grain then, just came on just for a second. What does pretentious douchebag thing say? Charles Bronson's racing to the scene. Well, it's kind of cool though in a way, because I mean I know the police are getting quite quick, but what is kind of funny though is the fact that like you'd almost think, because that scene actually was quite long. You'd think you would have sort of been there by now, but then no. She's just cut his face or scratched. Oh, she had a curling iron. So it's going up with sisters, all that kind of stuff is like, oh yeah, 80s. He's going out the window naked. On the soundtrack, I guess it was. Oh well. The music has just got super cool. A helicopter chasing a woman running down the street, a woman being chased by a naked man being chased by Charles Bronson. Reminds me of that bit of Leslie Nielsen joke, and I think it's like Naked 1 or 2 where it says, if I see a naked guy chasing a woman down the street, I shoot him. It was a play, Shakespeare in Park. That's good. That's one thing as well. People running down the road is very 80s. I think even Mel Gibson does that. Not naked, but with no top on. Oh my god, it's nearly catching her. What's really funny because this film, it was, like I say, I can't really remember it really. I mean, like I say, little moments here and there. Oh my god. She runs the arms of Charles Bronson. Be amazing if he doesn't kill this guy. In a way. Oh yeah? He didn't know what he was doing. This guy's so dead. Is this what the lawyer told him, say? Oh my god. Oof, getting shots in there. I just like I say, just from the shot on the but that kind of funny though that like, you know, obviously I must have seen this at some point. But what's funny though, there it seemed like there was quite it literally just ended. That's so funny though as well. I must have said this before, but well, I'll say about how I could tell the ending of the film just from the cover image. Funny, Ola Ray played Ola Doreen. But yeah, I've seen it in so many films where just as the credits start, a little line comes on, and even happens in films that that are part of my family's collection. Kyle Edward Cranston, a pretty good film. Didn't play out like I was expecting, and the Terminator references were very cool. It ends with a load of police cars coming. Obviously, a lot of action films do, but be interesting to go online afterwards and see Terry Buczynski. I'm sure Buczynski is maybe Charles Bronson's real name, isn't it? Richard Marx, first assistant editor. I don't think it's the Richard Marx. Michael Lamar, Michael Sloan, Michael Redburn. I haven't got a random crew member, so I'll count down from 5. The next one will be the random crew member. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Leslie Lytle, production assistant, is my random crew member. That music there just reminded me of something. Metro Colour. Titles and Opticals, MGM, which is the old school version of CGI, a canon release. Thank you for listening if you've made it to the end, and keep it locked. That video collection logo cool.